Hey there, thank you for tuning in to yet another one of my YouTube videos. In today's video, we're going to be doing something that I wanted to do on Daryl's car for a very long time. In fact, when I got him the carbon fiber grille and all the other carbon pieces, I wanted to get these for him too, but he didn't really want them. And what I'm talking about is spacers. There is quite a bit of a gap right here. In fact, you know what, let me just show you really quick. The wheels are cambered and they tuck in a bit. So in today's video, we're going to be fixing that and making the stance on this car look super aggressive and overall make the wheels look flush and just make the car look even better than it already does. And it's a pretty good looking car, so the spacers have a lot of pressure on them. Daryl got 10 mil spacers for his car, so we're going to be putting 10 mil all around. And if you're wondering what kind of spacers to run on your M2 CS or M2, I recommend 10. Some people do 12.5, some people even do 15. But as you'll see later on in the video, 10 looks perfect on these cars. So enough talking, let's get into it. But first, let me show you the spacers. As you can see, they are the 10 mils, and they go all the way up to 20 if you want to do 20s. These are from Burger Tuning. They're the exact same ones that I put on my M2. And in the box, we have these bolts, and there's 2 spacers, so you gotta get 2 boxes. And this is what the spacers look like. They look amazing. I think you can also get them in chrome, but we chose black for both of our cars. They are aluminum, and they're also very light and great build quality. These are fantastic. One thing to keep in mind is that these don't come with wheel locks, and you can't reuse the original ones because there is 10 millimeters more, so the thread doesn't go in as far. So if you do want wheel locks, you're gonna have to get a separate set of that, and we did, which I'll be showing you later on in the video. But before we do anything, we've got to loosen off the wheel locks and then loosen off all of the bolts. And of course, we gotta jack up the car if we want to get the wheel off. So just one thing that I recommend, these are plastic jack points here, and they get really chewed up. On my M2, they're absolutely destroyed. And here they're quite good looking. So what we do is we put wood, or you can use hockey pucks on top of this, and it really helps out with the jack points. I'm going to let you in on 2 little secrets that are really helpful if you have expensive BMW wheels and expensive BMW brakes, which pretty much all of them are. The first thing is this. This is from Burger Tuning, and instead of scratching up your wheels with a regular socket, this has plastic around it, so when you put in the bolts, you're not going to scratch the wheels up. And then we have these things, which are fantastic, especially if you have the carbon ceramic brakes. Even if you don't though, all BMW brakes are expensive, and you don't want to be hitting your wheel against them. So what these do is they screw into where the bolts go, and you can guide the wheel along without hitting anything, which is fantastic. Let me show you it in action right now. Actually, I'll be showing you how both of these work. And then these go right into where the bolts go. So it's time for the spacer now, and this goes on really easily. Just literally slides on like that, and you want to make sure it's over the lip. But there is one thing we gotta do first. We gotta put grease on the inside and the outside. While we're talking about the grease, as you can see here, there is a little bit of rust on this hub, and depending on how your car has been driven, the climate and stuff, this could be super rusted out. And this is a great time to take a wire brush and brush out all the rust and then put grease on it so it doesn't rust anymore. These are in quite good condition, so I don't think we're gonna be doing that, but you can if you want. You don't want to get it on the face and stuff, so I'm going to wipe that off. As you can see, there's a bunch of grease in here, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this on here, and I'm going to spin it around a bit, just to get everything nice and evenly coated. So we don't want the spacer sticking to the hub. It can happen. And let's line this up, and let's put the wheel back on. Let me tell you a little bit about these wheel locks because they are amazing. They're made by a company named Farad or Farad, I'm not sure. They come in this little box, and there are 4 of them, like so. And what's really cool about these is that, first off, they use a much different wheel lock design than OEM ones. And these heads also spin, so you can't go around and try to take the lock out like you could with a regular one. So with here, you could put pliers around it or some sort of special tool to twist them out. Here, you can't, which is really cool. And as you can see, the patterns are much different. So it's pretty much the same as a regular wheel lock. You just go like that, and you put it in like so, and there you go. All right, let's lower the car, get these torqued up, and we are good to go. Here's what the wheel looks like while the car is still in the air. It kind of looks like it's gonna poke, but you'll see once the car is down, it looks perfect. back here, you can tell that the wheel is perfectly flush. Of course, there is quite a bit of camber on there. And you might also notice that the wheel is sticking out quite a bit right there. And this little bit of poke right here is gonna start setting stones back there. So what we recommend is putting mud flaps on right here, kind of like the mud flap on my car, which is great, because as you can see here, it does stick out quite a bit and catches the majority of the rocks. I'm going to be torquing the bolts down really quick, and if you're wondering what the torque specs are, it's 140 Newton meters or 101 foot-pounds. Alright, so now that you've seen the process, I'm going to go do the other 3 wheels, and I'll come back and show you how the car looks once everything's on, and it's going to look really good. One quick tip that I forgot to mention when we were putting the bolts in is that since these are new bolts, you're going to want to put a little bit of grease on the edge right there, and as you twist them in, this grease will be spread all throughout the thread. You can see there's a much more aggressive stance on here, and the wheels are now perfectly flush. Also makes the car look lowered, which is a really cool side effect. Perfectly flush from all angles, looks so much better. Do you mind pulling the car out so we can look at the stance?
Absolutely.
Great, thank you. And that is how it looks from the rear. It looks absolutely amazing. Look at that. Perfectly flush, looks super aggressive. The stance is so much better now. Look at that, wow. Great looking car. Here's how it looks from the front. What do you think about them, Daryl?
Love them. I think they're great. Saw them on your car, really liked them, and I thought, yes, okay, I'm gonna go for it. And I did, and look at it, it looks great.
Good choice. Thank you so much for watching today's video. I really hope you enjoyed it. As you can see, the spacers have made Daryl's car look so much better, so much more aggressive, and just more stanced, I guess you could say. I don't know if that even makes sense, but it looks cool and it sounds cool, so I'm gonna go with it. This is something I wanted to get Daryl for a while, and he didn't really want them at first, so I'm really happy that he changed his mind and got them, because like I just said, these look fantastic. Anyways, with that being said, I post every Thursday at 9 a.m. and next week's video or the week after is going to be something really cool. I'm going to be doing some custom work to my interior, so make sure you watch that video. I think you're really going to like it, and I hope you have a fantastic rest of your week.